Welcome to the Lifeline, a production of Simply BJE Incorporated. The goal of this podcast is to build, to inspire, and to empower our audience through conversations on business, leadership, and mental health. We invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and at simplybje.com/the Lifeline. Now, let's tune in for today's episode.
This is the day that the Lord has made. I shall rejoice and be glad in it. It's Lindberg, and this is your Power Chat. Today we're going to talk about God's plan. God's plan is always different than our plan. And you say that's a contradictory to what we have been taught. But the plans of God for our lives are very different than what we perceive for ourselves. When I think about a plan, it's typically a diagram or a list of steps dealing with timing, resources, and it's used to achieve a certain objective. But when plans are broken, when plans change, what do? We must understand that God has a certain plan for our life. And within that plan is a process. That process includes a series of actions. These events perform the necessary steps to get us to a certain result. I remember I had a plan for my life in college, and I had it all mapped up. I was going to go to the NFL, play 5 to 10 years, make some money, hang out, party, then give my life to the Lord, and then settle down. But that wasn't God's plan. He had something different from me. And because I was going the wrong way, He stopped me. I was in a head-on car collision. And that head-on car collision changed my life, and it put me back on God's plan. You have to understand that in Jeremiah 1:4-8, it states that before you were in the belly of your mother, God knew what He had planned for you. Now, He gives us the choice. He gives us opportunity. He gives us free will. But you must understand God's will and His plan is much different. It includes the process. And sometimes through this process, there's pain, physical suffering, discomfort, agony, anxiety, bitterness, misery, shock. We all feel these things daily, but these things help us grow to get to the promise, which is the most important thing that we can look forward to. God's promise is a declaration to what His word says. God is not a man. He cannot lie. So we must understand that the promise includes pain. It's part of the process, but it's God's plan. Today, as you go about your day, as you analyze your plan for your life, take the time to see if it aligns with what God has planned for you. You say, how do I know what God has planned for me? What do you do easy? What comes to you naturally? What are your gifts? What are your talents? If you fall within those particular guidelines, then you understand the plan that God has for your life. This is Lindberg with the Power Chat. I hope that this insight gave you a clue of how to listen to the Word of God and hear His Word for your life through His plan. Remember, stay focused, stay faithful, stay for real.
Thank you for listening to today's episode with host, business coach Bo Powell and leadership coach Barry J. Elliott. Join us next week for another impactful conversation on the Lifeline.